New Yorkers try to keep their humiliations private, like this one. I had been organizing a long-neglected closet only to have every shelf collapse on top of me, along with an avalanche of clothes I long ago should have donated to Goodwill. My free arm was able to snag my phone, and I called my building's maintenance man. "What's the problem?" he gruffly asked. "It's an emergency," I said, trying to spit a decade-old Spice Girl-style platform shoe from my mouth. "My closet broke, and I'm trapped inside of it." "Closets don't break. Anyway, why don't you call someone else?" he asked, annoyed. "Well, I don't have a what? A boyfriend, a best friend, the ability to call 911? If you come, I'll give you your Christmas bonus early," I said. It was May. He arrived a few minutes later in his bathrobe. "How did this happen?" he asked, peeling back layer after layer of clothing. "Well, I was trying to grab a sweater from the top shelf when—" "No," he cut me off. "Not that. This." In his wide palm hands, he was holding not one, not two, not four, but 9 bridesmaid dresses. "It's not what it looks like," I said. "Trust me, I don't even like weddings." As a girl, a wedding of my own did not take up much real estate in my mind. At sleepover parties in middle school, the girls would giggle over the shape, color, flavor of their future ring, flowers, and cake. While I'd be off crafting paper airplanes from love letters I was too afraid to send. "You hate weddings?" my friend Samantha once asked me incredulously, brushing the synthetic split ends of her Barbie doll's bleached blonde hair, blurting out each syllable with a slap of attitude. "Don't you want the flowers and the dress and the giant shiny ring?" "Not really," I said. The only thing I obsessed over in those days was which toy I'd score on my McDonald's Happy Meal. The other girls dreamt of their dresses cascading like waterfalls of lace. They never entertained the ooey gooey love part and were still unaware of the messy gooey parts. I'm 28 now and still single. My passport only has stamps from bachelorette party destinations like Cancun and 4 of the 7 sandals resorts. I can repeat the canned marriage vows. You, Melissa, Josh, Rick, Candace, are the sunshine of my life. And I've seen the catastrophic results of what happens when you let a nervous bride have a Diet Coke or a shrimp dipped in cocktail sauce before the ceremony. And because I'd come to know too much about what a bride should and shouldn't do, and how a bridesmaid should and shouldn't act, I decided to make being a bridesmaid my métier. Yes, I get paid to be a bridesmaid. Last year, 40 brides put me on payroll. Brides hired me because they didn't have any close friends to stand by their side. That happens more than you think. They hired me knowing the 5 other bridesmaids would be at the open mojito bar. That also happens more than you think. They wanted me to prevent their transformation into a bridezilla before or on the day of their wedding. Now that really happens more than you think. Does that make me a tricked out party girl? Hardly. There are significant occupational hazards attached to being a professional bridesmaid. For example, bridesmaid dresses. At last count, my closet held not 9, but 35 of them. They bring down closet poles. Goodwill doesn't want to know from them. Neither do those in third world countries who do not like synthetics. Bruised legs. Some are from crawling on the ground for an hour and a half, making sure the bottom of the bride's dress is fluffed up. Others come from getting kicked in the shin by some other single girl way more eager than I am to catch the bouquet. Pumped up biceps from the times I've had to serve as a bodyguard for a bride who fired her maid of honor, and another whose groom, Psycho X, threatened to crash the wedding. Unsupported breasts. From the time I had to take off my strapless bra and give it to the mother of the bride, whose décolletage was distracting the clergy. mounting blood pressure. In the past 2 years working with over 40 brides, my blood pressure has gotten 56% higher. In part from the time I found a bride blackout drunk in her bridal suite halfway through the reception. I had to revive her with vitamin water, pigs in a blanket, and a motivational pep talk. You're going to learn to love him. Everyone knows that's what happens. Now, what bride doesn't need to hear that on her wedding day? But I will leave you with one last body part, my hands. These hands have done the unthinkable. I worked a wedding in Nevada at an open field. Right before the ceremony started, I noticed there were animal droppings all up and down the grassy aisle. I had 2 choices. I could leave the poop there and watch the bride walk her Manolo Blahniks right into it and have her beautiful white dress stained poop color, or I could pick it up with my bare mitts. To this day, I understand when my dates who, knowing what I do, will reach for the Purell before attempting to hold my hands. Being a bridesmaid isn't glamorous, and if you accept the word of this insider, neither are weddings. But I guess love isn't always either. So maybe, in some weird way, this whole wedding thing just makes sense.